Today on Ian vs. Daddybones, we're adding Wave 3 to my collection of WWE Superstars.
Oh boy, kids, we're gonna have fun today!
Yay! Hey! Alright!
How is everyone doing tonight?
Welcome back! It's another exciting episode of Ian vs. Daddybones. I'm Ian Daddybones. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about Wave 3, Series 3, whatever you want to call it, of Mattel's WWE Superstars collection. I got 4 new superstars that I added to everybody I've been grabbing over the past year. But before we get to that, I want to say what's up and a thank you and a nut dap to all my Patreon subscribers who throw me $1 once a month to get access to bonus content, get their name in the credits as a high five and a hookup from me. But I want to let everybody know, coming soon, there's going to be a $3 tier added to the Ian vs. Daddybones Patreon. What's with the $3 tier? Simple. I'm going to be bringing back the Original Geeks podcast. Now, last episode and the previous episode, I mentioned that for the purpose of shits and giggles, I started and created an OnlyFans account for Ian vs. Daddybones. So, if you're a pervert and you're on OnlyFans, you can subscribe to us for free just by simply searching Ian vs. Daddybones. You'll find us. I got all sorts of hot content available for you to enjoy, such as Ian vs. Daddybones. You can go to OnlyFans and watch this fucking episode right now. I also put up some extra content, like through my Netflix account, I was able to download the video game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. So I've been playing some Shredder's Revenge and recording me playing that game, and I've been putting up my progress of trying to play a classic side-scrolling beat-em-up on an Android phone and seeing how shitty I am at playing this game. So you get to watch those videos up on the OnlyFans, plus I put those videos up on the Patreon subscribers as well for some extra content. So just throw me $1 and you could subscribe for 30 days, but that's the thing. Originally, with starting the OnlyFans, I was thinking, well, what if I brought back the Original Geeks podcast and I had the Original Geeks podcast exclusive to the Patreon, but then, the OnlyFans, but then the more I thought about that, it would actually make more sense if I just put the Original Geeks podcast exclusively on the Patreon for a $3 tier. So if you subscribe for $3 a month to Ian vs. Daddybones, you're getting all the bonus content associated with Ian vs. Daddybones. You're still getting your name in the credits as a high five and a thank you from me. Plus, you're getting access to the Original Geeks podcast. And for starters, I'm going to be at least promising 2 episodes a month when I bring back the OG PC. And that's going to be coming up soon. It's just a matter of me fleshing out the first episode and what exactly I want to talk about. I think at this point, the first episode of the Original Geeks podcast is going to be an interview, and I have a few people in mind on who I'd like to have that first interview with, but in time, very soon, the Original Geeks podcast is coming back exclusively to the Patreon for a $3 tier, but in the meantime, I'm thankful and grateful for all of my $1 Patreon subscribers. To anybody else that's watching this right now who's not subscribed to the Patreon, take a chance on me for 30 days. Throw me a buck, Chuck. You might actually like it. It's not going to hurt. But we are officially on the TikTok. Got my TikTok back. Got the Twitter back. Ian vs. Daddybones. I'm having a lot of fun with that. A lot of positive interactions with a lot of shit I like, involving wrestling, as well as Masters of the Universe, and all sorts of things related to everything that I'm into. And I know Twitter's known for being a cesspool of shit, but since I lost my account 2 years ago and I got the new account back, it's nothing but love with Ian vs. Daddybones and just trying to enjoy everything that I'm doing when it comes to me collecting toys and showing y'all how much fun I'm having playing with my toys and playing with myself, and fucking here we are on Ian vs. Daddybones. But today on the show, I'm going to be talking about WWE Superstars Wave 3, Series 3. I don't know, depending on what type of collector you are, determines what you call your shit. Some people call them dolls, some people call them action figures, some people just say they're collectibles. Whatever you want to call your toys, it's up to you. But like I said on previous episodes of the show, when I was talking about Series 1 and Series 2 of this line, I first found out about this line, I believe it was spring of last year, when the first wave of figures was being shown, being announced, and with me collecting Masters of the Universe Origins, these were right up my alley because I've already told the story of having the LJN wrestling figures when I was a kid and the He-Man figures back in the day, but they weren't really compatible with each other because the scale was so different, and it didn't really work out like that as far as like having like cross play with like different toy lines in my room. Like I wasn't playing with my toys like Andy was. I wasn't like, I wasn't using like George the Animal Steel as a force field dog. You know what I mean? But when I found out that these figures were getting announced by Mattel as another WWE line, and the fact that they're sharing parts with Masters of the Universe, I was all about it. Because it seems to me that this line, with the exception of the Bray Wyatt figure who sticks out like a sore fucking thumb when it comes to everybody who's been released so far in this line, Bray Wyatt is the only one that makes no fucking sense as to why he's here. I mean, if anything, make an action figure of his dad. Give me IRS. Give me Erwin R. Shyster in this collection before you give me Bray Wyatt. It makes more sense to have an IRS because I could pair him with the $1 Million Man, as you can see Ted DiBiase here. But, this line focuses on 80s and 90s classic superstars, and I'm all about it because these are the guys who were on TV when I was a kid. These are the guys that I saw on Saturdays and Sunday mornings when I'm watching WWE Superstars or Wrestling Challenge or Monday Night Raw when it premiered 30 fucking years ago. Jesus Christ. I can't believe that shit. Nah, serious. You're snickering on the other side of the camera. Dude, I was 2 years younger than you.
You're old.
I was 13 years old. I was in 7th grade when Monday Night Raw came out. And over the course of my life, that's been my Monday Night Football. I don't watch football. I don't give a shit about playoffs right now. I don't give a shit about the Super Bowl. I've always been into pro wrestling, and pro wrestling has always been my favorite sport. And people could say what they want about pro wrestling. It is what it is. I fucking love it, and that's the only thing that matters. But the thing with these figures is, like, they're officially on scale with the He-Man figures. So I can take Skeletor and Hollywood Hulk Hogan, put them next to each other, and they look fucking dope. Like, I can pop off Hulk Hogan's head and place it with an extra Hordak head, and now I got Hollywood Hulk Hordak, and it just looks fucking sick. Like, I could take Hall and Nash's heads and pop them off and put them on other members of the Evil Horde, and just create some WWE Masters of the Universe crossover customs, even though there was a line called Masters of the WWE Universe that came out 2017, 2018, and that basically was the seed that got planted, that gave birth to everything going on right now with Masters of the Universe toy lines existing three at once at retail. And it all started with this crossover line like 5 to 6 years ago, and it was fucking great. But I already talked about the first 2 waves of the line. Absolutely impressed with the attention to detail and the little details and the extras, like the removable sunglasses or cloth goods, like Honky Tonk Man's jumpsuit is absolutely fantastic. He's got his guitar that breaks away in 5 pieces. Like Hulk Hogan and Scott Hall have their cloth goods NWO shirt. Hogan comes with the WCW belt. The Outsiders come with the WCW tag straps. Nash has pleather pants, fake vinyl pants. It's sick with the tassels and shit. But like, yeah, you got the detail on the Ultimate Warrior with his duster, and you know, I'm just totally impressed with everything about this line. And I know in the beginning, when I was talking about the first two waves, that it seemed like it was just like a mishmash or a hodgepodge of like random motherfuckers they just throw in the waves. And I think it all goes back to that very first wave, because Bray Wyatt was a part of that, and that was the only head scratcher in that line. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that Bray Wyatt's back in WWE. I'm glad that The Fiend is on TV. You know what I mean? Well, he hasn't become The Fiend yet. He's just Bray Wyatt now. The Firefly Funhouse is back. We're getting introduced to Uncle Howdy, who may or may not be Bo Dallas, and Alexa Bliss is starting to cross back over into, her connection to Bray Wyatt and picking up where they left off with that. But when the line dropped, Bray Wyatt didn't have a job. Like, I looked at it like it was a kick in the nuts. Like, hey, we fired him. He doesn't work here anymore. But anyway, we got these leftover Bray Wyatt figures. We're just going to throw them out in the fucking store. And on top of that, it would have made more sense if he was The Fiend instead of wearing the stupid Mad Hatter promo outfit that he wore on one episode of Firefly Funhouse. And, a lot of, there's more questions asked as to why he's wearing that outfit. And it's crazy. But going officially to Series 3, these figures I picked up during the fall. I want to say end of September, maybe going into October. I happened to stop in at Walmart one day. I wasn't even stopping by Walmart to look at toys. I had to grab something for my daughter, my 2-year-old. So we had to stop by Walmart. And then while we were there, it was like, you know what, I'll just go take a look for the hell of it. And that's when I saw that the Series 3 figures were out, and I got super excited because there were some figures in this series that I couldn't wait to get my hands on and add to the collection. And I got all 4 of them in that series. So officially, we're going to start off with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, because the one thing he has in common with every action figure I've been buying over the past 2 years, everybody's got a price. And I gotta say, this $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase figure is absolutely fucking sick. I'm just so impressed and blown away by the attention to detail on him, because for starters, he's wearing a cloth goods back in the day $1 Million Man entrance and promo tuxedo. I had to do a quick edit. Basically, this Ted DiBiase is great. He's got this amazing soft goods cloth $1 Million Man tuxedo jumpsuit that he used to wear when he walked to the ring making his entrance, and when he was backstage with Mean Gene cutting promos with Virgil. He was wearing these type of tuxedos that were either... Can you just open that and be done with it?
Okay. Sorry.
Well, you're making noises and shit in the background, and I'm trying to record.
Something's probably noticeable.
It doesn't matter. It's noticeable to me because it's distracting me. I don't need to hear shit like that. That's why they say quiet on the set. Alright, I had to do a quick little edit. But basically, this $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase figure is fucking awesome, because he comes in this classic, back in the day, soft goods tuxedo. And Ted DiBiase used to wear these tuxedos when he was making his entrance. He'd have the green and the silver one, or he'd have like the silver and purple one, or he'd have the black and the gold one. And he'd always wear these to the ring and backstage when he was with Mean Gene cutting promos and shit. So he's got the soft goods tuxedo, and it's got the Velcro. It opens and closes with Velcro on the front. Now, I'm not going to take it off, but underneath he has his like tuxedo bib with his bow tie. So the fact that they got the cloth goods tuxedo, but they also have the cloth goods bib along with the bow tie is an added extra step, attention to detail. And on the back, he's got the $, which is just absolutely sick. I mean, I had a $1 Million Man figure like that, but like, you know, but the suit was like molded onto him. You know what I mean? It wasn't like soft cloth good fabric. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Mattel, it's the House of Barbie, so it's the same fabric that they make the Barbie outfits out of. So it's just so super sick. I honestly think it's one of the best Ted DiBiase figures I've ever seen. I just wish it would have been nice if there was a Chase variant where he was wearing the black suit. But he comes with a wad of cash, so he's letting you know that everybody has a price. Or if you're like a 10-year-old black kid, he's gonna come up to you and offer you money to like dribble a basketball, and then he's gonna kick that shit on the 10th try, and he's gonna rip you off, but and laugh in your face. But yeah, we got $1 Million Man added to that shit. Now, next up on my list, one of my favorite wrestlers, one of my wife's favorite wrestlers, Mick Foley in his Mankind persona. Now, I gotta say, and it's nothing against Mick Foley because he's one of my favorites, but when it came to like Mankind, you know what I mean? Seeing him be Cactus Jack in WCW and then going to the WWF at the time and he was Mankind, seeing him going from Cactus Jack, especially in WCW and ECW and Deathmatch Japan Cactus Jack, transitioning into the WWF's Mankind, you know, he looked a lot cooler in the Cactus Jack gear than he did in this brown poop color outfit. Like, he literally just, I always got the impression of Mankind just looking like a giant walking turd. It's just poop brown from head to toe. And he's got the mask. This particular figure has he's got a cloth goods top that has the, I don't know exactly what would you call it, like the Mankind tribal glyph, whatever logo that Mankind had that didn't really catch on, but it was on a bunch of his early outfits, and they even chose to include it on this outfit. But yeah, he's got the, he's got the mask, he's got his hair, he's just, I gotta say, I mean, it's a kind of basic figure. Like, I'm not saying it's a shit figure because it looks like a great figure. I know I made some poo jokes as far as like the poop brown attire, but I'm not saying he's a shitty character. I mean, he's a great character. He's one of the best looking Mankind figures I've ever seen, especially when, you know, taking all things into consider what I love the most about this line, the fact that it's all compatible with Masters of the Universe Origins. This Mankind figure is fucking awesome. He looks sick, and you know, it's the little cuts and the tears and the rips on the shoulders of his t-shirt is fucking incredible. You know, he's got his knee pads, he's got his black boots, and just the mask is absolutely sick. The attention to detail, the head sculpt is really great. Like, it looks like Mick Foley, it looks like Mankind. I mean, the mask is removable. I don't want to remove it. I don't like taking the small bits and parts off my figures. Just, I don't want nothing to, if it's on there by itself, I like to leave it alone. But if I can take it off and put it back on, I feel like it's going to fall off and then I'm going to lose something. But it doesn't look like that mask is going to be falling off on its own anytime soon. But moving on, we have, hold on, I don't need you falling over. Moving on, we have The Undertaker, aka Early Undertaker, early 90s Undertaker. There's two Undertakers in that, well, not really, can't say that, because by the end of the 90s, he was doing the corporate ministry Devil Undertaker. You know what I mean? Vampire Undertaker, Black Magic Undertaker, corporate ministry. But basically, in the first half of the 90s, there was two Undertakers. There was Black and Gray debut at the Survivor Series Undertaker. And then there was Undertaker in the black and purple for the purpose of the main event of SummerSlam 94 when it was Undertaker versus Underfaker. And when Ted DiBiase had his Undertaker was wearing the black and the gray, so we could show that to the people and be like, look, it's the fucking Undertaker. He's right here. I bought him. He's mine. Do you not see the money? Everybody has a price. So, when they brought back the Undertaker for that match, Undertaker had a brand new look. You know, he had a brand new, they gave him some color. Instead of just being all gray and black and death, they gave him a little bit of color for that bitch. So he was purple and black Undertaker, and it was fucking dope. But right here, we got the early 90s debut Undertaker, and this Undertaker just looks fucking dope because, like everybody else in this wave, he comes with cloth goods. He's wearing a cloth goods OG Undertaker black duster. He has his Undertaker hat, which looks like the Amish special. And he has his Undertaker head sculpt, young Undertaker, early Undertaker, and like the $1 Million Man, having his soft goods tuxedo bib and bow tie. Undertaker has his cloth goods tie that the Undertaker wore, and I will say that not that it's necessarily a negative on the character, but it looks stupid, and it looks stupid if you intend on displaying the figure without the duster. But basically, the lapels of Undertaker's gear and, like, you know, the fabric line and the stitching is basically painted on deco, so it kind of looks like he's wearing fake clothes on top of his outfit. I don't know, I don't think it comes across that well, but yeah, overall, you know, I gotta say, it's a really, I got his hat backwards, I think his hat's on backwards. No, there he goes. Got my Undertaker. But he looks fucking sick. The paint deco lines look like they're just painted on him, and it looks kind of cheap, which makes me glad that he comes with the cloth goods duster to at least cover that up, because he still looks sick, you know, posed in his full gear nonetheless. And I gotta say, like, all of them come with extra hands. All of them come with extra hands, and Undertaker comes with his, like, high five hands, which are good because you could have him pose to make it look like he's turning the lights on. You know what I mean? That's how I have him. That's how I have him posed when I have him standing. And but moving on to the final figure in the wave, we have somebody I was very impressed to see get included early in this line. And then once I bought this figure and got to look at him, I gotta say, Papa Shango looks fucking sick. The fact that they made a Papa Shango figure just blows me away. And I mean, this doesn't really blow me away. I mean, in recent years, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And when WWE Network was first new, and WWE was like producing a shit ton of original content for WWE Network, like that's right around when The Godfather was getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So they had him involved with some, you know, they had him involved with some productions. And there were times where he needed to be The Godfather, and then there were other times where he dug into back in the day and resurrected his Papa Shango gimmick. So you got to see cute little things like Papa Shango and the Boogeyman, like riding these like stuffed animal like scooters in a mall or some shit that I remember seeing a picture going viral years ago. But Papa Shango, like basically, he was a wrestler who was around in WWF in the early 90s, like 1992, and you know, he had a voodoo gimmick, and I don't really think the WWF audience, especially with WWE's television product, I don't think they were ready for him. You know what I mean? I feel like Papa Shango was a fun character. Like I always liked him. I always liked his entrance when he came out with his like smoking voodoo skull, and he'd start making like these weird Papa Shango faces and like start doing these chants and shit. And he was entertaining. You know what I mean? You know, Papa Shango was one of those mid-card background guys that was just fun to watch on TV. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the Berserker has a snowball's chance in hell in pinning Hulk Hogan for the belt. It's just funny watching the guy walking around the ring going, huss, 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 huss. I did that for East Coast Overdose, Phil Bravado. What up, Scotty? But basically, Papa Shango was one of those Saturday morning gimmick wrestlers, and he was a fun wrestler to watch on TV, and it's interesting because like he had an appearance at WrestleMania 8 where he and Psycho Sid attacked Hulk Hogan, and Ultimate Warrior made the save, so he got to make an appearance at that WrestleMania. And the character didn't last long on TV. I believe Papa Shango was on the very first episode of Monday Night Raw 30 years ago, but even 30 years ago up into where we are right now in life, like Papa Shango, like I said, Charles Wright, the wrestler who portrayed the character Papa Shango, and Kama Mustafa and The Godfather, like he became such an iconic, legendary character regardless of the gimmicks over the years. He was always entertaining no matter what character he was portraying. And Papa Shango never really got much love when it came to action figures, and I gotta say, for having him in the He-Man scale, it's absolutely fucking sick. And it's like, if I was a kid today, even though I'm a 43-year-old adult male who has no problem like taking pictures of his figures and whatnot, but like looking at everything, like if I was to have Papa Shango like integrated into my Eternia, I would have Papa Shango be the one that summons the Scareglow. Like Scareglow would be associated with Papa Shango, and Scareglow, it would definitely be a threat to the Undertaker, in that universe, in that realm, in that play fantasy. But overall, I gotta say, like having these four figures be added to the line, and it's sick, and they already announced Wave 4, Wave 5 of WWE Superstars, so I already know what figures are coming out this year, and I'm looking forward to them because they got Macho Man Randy Savage coming out this year. They got Mr. T coming out this year. They got Ravishing Rick Rude. They're going to have Earthquake and Typhoon. You're getting both natural disasters, which I think is kind of fucking dumb. Why are you doing the natural disasters first in the line before you give us a Money Inc.? Like, why aren't the Heart Foundation created? You know what I mean? That's something I'd like to see. I'd like to see Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Bret the Hitman Hart get characters in this line so I can have the Heart Foundation feud with the NWO, and that would be absolutely fucking sick. But also coming out this year, you got I'm trying to think. You got The Rock. The Rock's coming out. He looks fucking sick, and just Wave 4 and 5 have been announced like 2 months ago. They're going to be hitting the stores first quarter this year. Walmart exclusive brand. So if any of my Patreon subscribers, you happen to find these in the wild, you let me know, and I will definitely be interested in scooping those off you. But I do gotta give some shout outs because it was my friend Eric Pinhat who was able to track down the Undertaker for me. I was able to find Papa Shango, Ted DiBiase, and Mankind in the same day. But when it came to Undertaker, nobody was finding the Undertaker. Even when looking around Facebook groups and other Masters of the Universe groups, everybody was having the hardest time finding the Undertaker. But then some people were like, dude, they got tons of Undertakers where I'm coming from, and I happen to get lucky because apparently my area was one of the first locations to get these figures, and I know this because when I took pictures of them and posted them in groups, people were like, holy crap, those figures are out already? Oh my god, where did you get those? I didn't know these came out already. So I must have got lucky when I found mine in my area. So I was able to scoop them with the quickness. But I am going to say, though, that I have nothing to open up on this episode of the show. So this episode of Ian versus Daddybones is going to be kind of short because it's just going to focus on the topic in WWE Superstars Series 3. Like I said, I'm having a lot of fun collecting these figures, but I do want to let it be known that since I don't have anything to open up this episode, the bonus footage is going to work differently this week because I am going to be filming some content for the Patreon subscribers, but the content I'm filming isn't going to be available until January 31st at 6 o'clock in the morning on the YouTube channel, because the reason I'm posting the bonus footage on the 31st is because January 31st is my daughter Julia's birthday. And my daughter Julia is turning 22 years old, and I honestly can't fucking believe it that it's been 22 years old already. 22 years since she's been born and everything, and it's just holy shit, you know what I mean? Time flies when you're raising kids, and just completely baffled and just, I don't know, it's just, I'm full of emotions, but basically what I'm getting at for the bonus footage this week, since I don't have anything to unbox, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to flip through this classic issue of WWF magazine. This is the January 2001 issue of WWF magazine. This issue was actually available on newsstands during the month that my daughter was born, and I bought that issue of that magazine at a CVS, and it's just one of those types of things where I can't believe that my kid's turning 22, and so with that, I'm gonna celebrate my daughter's birthday by flipping through this old wrestling magazine, and I'm gonna talk about everything that's inside this issue, as well as seeing how the business has changed since this issue came out. So with that said, be there on January 31st on the YouTube channel when the bonus footage drops. Make sure you follow me on all of our social medias. TikTok, Ian vs. Daddybones. Twitter, Ian vs. Daddybones. Ian vs. Daddybones on OnlyFans. Ian Daddybones on Instagram. We got a fucking Facebook page. You can like that shit. And yeah, you'll be there for everything we got coming up in the future, the next episodes, and there's all sorts of shit that I'm going to be posting across the different social medias, just creating content for this brand, because me and my son are having fun with it, and everybody involved, this is our baby right now, and all we want to do is make our monster grow, and we can't do that without our supporters like y'all. So again, special high fives and a thank you. I appreciate all of our Patreon subscribers. If you can't subscribe to the Patreon, just head to the YouTube channel and simply click subscribe. Just give me that subscription number, hit the share button. That's all we ask for. But until next time, cheers, Pete!